What's this? A letter for me.
Welcome to another episode of Remember the Great Sports Through the Mail Thursdays. Today I'm going to share with you some recent returns that I just got back in the mail. So let me just open a couple envelopes up and we will be showing you those returns. Alright, this first one, very happy to get another Senior League return. And this is Mr. Tom Murphy on one Senior League card. One is a Red Sox, one is a Brewer, and one is a Blue Jay. So, Tom Murphy. Murphy, an Ohio native, played his college baseball at Ohio University and was actually drafted 3 times until he finally signed out of college. He was drafted in the 18th round in 1965, the 4th round in 1966, and finally the 1st round in 1967 by the California Angels. Well, he didn't spend very long in the minor leagues because in 1968, after having one successful season in the minors, he was up with the Angels in the major leagues. He appeared in 15 games and started all 15 of those games and went 5-6 with a great 2.17 ERA. Well, going into the next season, in 1969, he had started 35 games for the Angels, winning 10 of them and losing 16. The following year, in 1970, would actually prove to be his best season as a starter, where he won 16 games but lost 13. 1971, however, was not too kind to Tom. He went an overall record of 6 wins and 17 losses, starting 36 games for the Angels. Well, the 1972 season got off a little rocky as well, and during the season, the Angels decided to trade him to the Kansas City Royals. Well, he would only start half of the games for the Royals, but he appeared in 18 and started 9 of them. After the 1972 season, he was then traded to the St. Louis Cardinals for Al Santorini. He spent an entire season with the Cardinals. Then, after the 1973 season, the Cardinals traded him to the Milwaukee Brewers. With Milwaukee, he would find some success as a reliever as he appeared in 70 games his first year in Milwaukee with a minuscule 1.90 ERA. However, his record was 10 wins and 10 losses. So that arguably would probably be his best season as a reliever. His best season as a starter was back in 1970 when he won 16 games. Well, after the 74 season, in 1975, the following year, he went 1-9 for the Brewers. His struggles continued through 1976. Then in 1976, in June, the Brewers traded him to the Boston Red Sox for Bernie Carbo. He would remain in the Boston Red Sox bullpen through 1976 and 77. However, during the 1977 season, the Red Sox would then trade him to the Blue Jays. With the Blue Jays, he would be a mainstay in the bullpen from the 1977, 78, and 79 season. And finally, after the 79 season, at the age of 33 years old, Murphy decided to retire from baseball. So, very happy to add Mr. Murphy to the collection, not to be confused with the current Tom Murphy that is a catcher in baseball. This is the original Tom Murphy. So, all right, moving on to the next one. The next one is another player from that era, and it is former Chicago Cub Jim Colborn. On one as a Cub, 2 as a Brewer, 3 as a Royal, and 4 as a Seattle Mariner. So Jim Colborn was a California native that later went on to the University of Washington to play in Seattle, Washington. He was signed as a free agent by the Chicago Cubs and immediately was assigned to the Cubs single-A affiliate, where he excelled, winning 7 games his first season in professional baseball. He would then spend the entire 1968 season in the Cubs minor league system, and then would spend most of 1969 playing for the Cubs minor league affiliates, until he got a call-up in the 1969 season in July. Well, he would only appear in 6 games as a rookie, but he started 2 of those games as a pitcher with the Cubs. The following year, he would spend the entire season with Chicago and would appear in 34 games while starting 5, with having a 3-1 record with a 3.59 ERA. Well, in 1971, he struggled a little bit, and the Cubs demoted him back down to AAA, where he spent most, if not all, the remainder of the season. Well, between the 1971 and 72 season, he was traded by the Cubs to the Milwaukee Brewers for Jose Cardinal. Well, this would be a new opportunity for Colborn. He would not be a primary starter his first year in Milwaukee, where he would have a 7-7 record appearing in 39 games with 12 starts. But the following year, in 1973, Colborn came out of nowhere and won 20 games for the Milwaukee Brewers, making his first and only All-Star appearance for the Brewers. The following year, Colborn would only have 10 wins, and the following season after that, 11. He would play through 1976 with the Brewers until finally the Brewers decided to trade him to the Kansas City Royals. With the Royals, Colborn would have another excellent season, winning 18 games as a starter for the Royals. Going into the 1978 season, Colborn only appeared in 8 games for the Royals before they decided to trade him to the Seattle Mariners. After the 1978 season, he re-signed with the Mariners. However, right before the season started in 1979, he was garnered his release. 1979 was the last time that Colborn pitched in the majors, and I'm not really sure, maybe an injury might have caused his release, because I'm not really sure why the Mariners would have gave up on him like that, but you just never know. Maybe he just had enough of the game and decided to retire. Post-playing career, Colborn got into coaching, working his way up through the minor leagues as a pitching coach, until eventually landing as a coach with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2000. He would coach as the pitching coach with Jim Tracy from 2000 to 2005 in Los Angeles, and after his time with the Dodgers would follow Tracy to Pittsburgh, where he would be the pitching coach for the Pittsburgh Pirates through 2007. After Tracy was let go as the Pirates manager, Colborn would then become the Texas Rangers bullpen coach. After 2008, I'm not really sure where Colborn coached, if he coached at all, to be honest with you. This is another one of those individuals that spent a long time in baseball, even after his playing career. So thank you, Mr. Colborn. This was an autograph that I never gotten before. Very happy to add that to the collection as well. Alright, so this last one is actually a couple more Senior League returns, and that is former Pittsburgh Pirate Gene Clines on 2 Senior League cards, along with a card of him depicted as a Chicago Cub, and finally his 1971 rookie card with Fred Cambria. And I'm pretty sure Cambria signs through the mail, so I'm going to probably be sending this one Cambria's way here pretty shortly. So let me tell you a little bit about Gene Clines and his pretty impressive career. Drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates in the 6th round of the 1966 draft out of Richmond, California, Clines worked his way up through the minor league system of the Pirates until 1970, when he made his major league debut, appearing in 31 games for the Pirates that season. He left quite an impression with the Pirates that season, because in the limited time that he was up, he batted over 400 to finish out the year. Well, going into 1971, he appeared in 97 games for the Pirates and batted an illustrious 308 for the Pirates that season, and was part of the Pirates championship team that won the World Series that year. Well, in 1972, he was the primary starter in the outfield, appearing in 107 games and batting an illustrious 334 that season. He would continue to be the Pirates' starting outfielder from 1973 to 74. However, his numbers would decline By 1974, only batting .225 in 107 games. Well, after the 1974 season, the Pirates decided to trade Clines to the New York Mets. He would spend one season with the Mets before the Mets shipped him to the Texas Rangers. Well, after a season with the Rangers where he was the primary starting outfielder, he put together a pretty impressive year, batting .276. The Rangers decided to trade him before the 1977 season to the Chicago Cubs. Well, in 101 games with the Cubs, he would bat .293, so back to his old ways. In 1978, his average would dip back down to .258, and by 1979, he only appeared in 10 games with the Cubs. After the 1979 season, that was it for Gene Clines as a player. Well, Clines would get into coaching after his playing career, and he would have a coaching career that was actually longer than his playing career. While with the Cubs, he would be a coach through the 1981 season, then joined the Houston Astros as a minor league hitting instructor all the way till 1987. In 1988, he joined the Seattle Mariners as their hitting coach through 1992, and then the Milwaukee Brewers hitting coach from 93 to 94, before he moved to the San Francisco Giants, where he was a hitting coach from 1995 to 2002. After the 2002 season with the Giants, Clines would return to the Chicago Cubs as a first base coach. He was named hitting coach prior to the 2005 season, and 2006 was his 20th season as a major league coach. In 2007, he left the Cubs and took a position with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and in 2010, he was named a senior advisor of player development with the Dodgers. I'm not really sure if he still does that or not, but that was as of 2010. So overall, Gene Clines kind of had a roller coaster career as a player. He really burst onto the scene, batting .400 his first year technically, then .300 the next couple seasons. Then he had some pretty down years. Well, after he bounced back from bouncing around through a couple organizations, he was back with the Cubs and had a .300 batting year again. So very happy to add Gene Clines to the collection. I want to also thank Mr. Colborn again for signing all these cards. And I also want to thank Mr. Murphy for signing a couple more and adding another senior leaguer to my collection. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch in this video. I look forward to your comments below. Thanks for watching.